87 Elm Street in the historic Sunbeam Mall in Manchester. Open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. and Saturdays, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. They can be reached at 603-222-2007 or on the web at queencitycabinetrynh.com. Come see the possibilities. Queen City Cabinetry, another proud sponsor of WMNH.
Come on down to the Hop Knot at 1000 Elm Street, Manchester's premier craft beer and gourmet pretzel bar. Tell us more, Trudy.
We make our dough fresh every day. We make a variety of styles of pretzels and serve craft beer, cocktails, and a few bottles of wine. We do the traditional pretzel, and we have multiple flavors for that. We also do stuffed pretzels, pretzel sandwiches, 3 dessert pretzels, and pretzel knots.
The Hop Knot in the Brady Sullivan Plaza at 1000 Elm Street.
Clemento's Pizzeria, family friendly, awesome for a date night. Clemento's Pizzeria. For delivery, call 603-782-8450. Clemento's Pizzeria, the best pizza in town. 1875 South Willow Street in Manchester, New Hampshire. Best cocktails around. Come in as friends and leave as family.
You are listening to WMNHLP, Manchester's radio, broadcasting at 95.3 megahertz frequency modulation from the top of 1000 Elm Street. Our studios are located at 1045 Elm Street and licensed to Manchester Public Television Service in Manchester, New Hampshire, USA. Contact us by email at wmnh953@gmail.com or through our website at wmnhradio.org.
news from beautiful Manchester, New Hampshire. An international coalition has formally declared itself the supreme leader of all things rock and all things roll. Tensions are rising as others have claimed themselves to be, quote, the savior of real rock and roll. But the coalition founded and headed by Jerry Robinson says these claims are unfounded. As you can see, war can be declared at any moment. The smallest act of aggression can be seen by either side as... Oh, God. We have a breaking news bulletin being published as we speak. The first strike...
Hello, everyone. Jerry here. So, I have taken over the airwaves. I've taken over the radio. And now I want you all to understand that I am the supreme leader of rock and roll. But not just me, of course. I would like to welcome the brand new member of Jerry's Rock and Roll Army, the commander to the supreme leader, Matzo Cavitan!
John Hopwood is my daddy. John Hopwood is my daddy. John Hopwood is my daddy. John.
Welcome, everybody. Here we go. Happy Friday. My favorite day of the week here at WMNH. It is that time again, Matt Connarton Unleashed, and we are live from the studios of WMNH 95.3 FM in glorious downtown Manchester, New Hampshire. Also on Comcast Channel 6 if you're in Manchester. And hello to all of our online listeners across the nation and around the globe. You can go to my website, mattconnarton.com, for all of your live streaming options, social media links, contact info, show archives, etc., etc. Today is Friday, September 15, 2023. So nice to have you all with me. We have a busy show for you today. Coming up in a little bit, we have Erich Pilcher's classic film review, as we do every Friday. And this week, the subject is the 1981 film directed by George A. Romero, as Erich continues to honor his memory. Of course, Romero passing away recently. This week, the subject is the film Knightriders from 1981. So we do love Erich's reviews, and I look forward to sharing that with you in a little bit. And then in the second hour, we have a great musical guest coming in. The band Abel Blood will be joining us live in studio. Their new album actually just came out today. Arrival of the Waves, it's called. Just released today. So these guys are going to be in. And I'm really... that song that I played, by the way, Mental Note. Kind of a long song to open the show. But it's just really, really cool. It's like a 10-minute song. But whatever, it's Friday. It's just so cool. And getting a lot of positive response in the chat room. Oh, speaking of Erich Pilcher, I see him in the chat room. He says, this is amazing. And Jenny says, this is awesome. Yeah, I really like their sound. They're doing something pretty unique. That's the longest of their songs. Most of their songs are under 5 minutes, but that particular track, I listened to it and it's so epic. It's just like, wow. So I thought that would be an appropriate opener for today's show, but I'm really looking forward to meeting those guys today in the second hour. They will be joining us live in studio. And as I mentioned, of course, Friday is my favorite day of the week here at WMNH. It's the day that I do double duty. Of course, I do this show. I'm here with you until 6 p.m., and then I'm back tonight from 8 to 11 p.m. for Retro Spectrum Radio with Paulie C. And I have the honor and privilege of being one of Paul's co-hosts on that show, along with our friends DJ Steve and, of course, Mike from Queen City Cabinetry. So we have a great time. We had a really great time last Friday night. That might have been the most fun I've ever had on Retro Spectrum Radio last Friday night. And tonight's theme is a continuation of that. It's going to be songs that... Actually, let me look at Paul's post so I can make sure I get it exactly right. Here's what Paul put up. Retro Spectrum Radio starts at 8 p.m. Eastern. Tonight, we continue with famous songs that were plagiarized by your favorite bands. We'll also be joined in studio by the loving, cuddly Scott Reinert. Scott's musical knowledge will be put to the test when he competes with Matt and DJ Steve in Name That 9 at 9. Do join us. And of course, you can stream the audio from anywhere at WMNHradio.org. But we also love it if you hang out with us in the Facebook live chat during the show. But if you're hanging out with us on Facebook, on the Retro Spectrum Radio Facebook page, open a second browser tab and go to WMNHradio.org and click Listen Live. Paul mutes the audio during his show on Facebook because Facebook gets a little ticky about all the copyrighted music and they end up interrupting the video, and it's a whole big thing. So chat with us on Facebook in the chat room during Paul's show. But open a second browser tab, go to WMNHradio.org and click Listen Live. But we love it when you hang out with us in the chat room. So that will be tonight. That'll be a lot of fun. I love shows like that. Like I said, that was so much fun last week. So I'm really looking forward to tonight as well on Retro Spectrum Radio. Also, I should mention another really cool thing. Next weekend, it's Saturday, I think, right? The 23rd. I'm looking it up. This is loading a little slow on my computer. But next weekend is the birthday, another birthday for the Hopknot, our amazing sponsor, right across the street at 1000 Elm Street. And you can get those delicious gourmet pretzels. They have an assortment of craft beer. They do cool things like on Thursday nights, they have trivia hosted by Broderick Lang. They do all kinds of great stuff there. Such a wonderful place. But let's see. Next weekend, it is the birthday of the Hopknot, and just found out today, DJ Reckless is going to be DJing the event. Oh, here we go. Yep, I found it. Saturday, September 23rd at noon, the Hopknot 4th birthday bash. So that will be on Saturday, the 23rd, next weekend. And like I said, DJ Reckless will be DJing that. So really looking forward to that as well. Jenny and I will be there, of course. Come on down and hang out with us. Meet us. We'll meet you. We'll have some pretzels. No beer for me. I'm not much of a drinker, but we'll have some pretzels. Anyway, it'll be a lot of fun. If you'd like to join us on the program today, the studio line is open, 603-250-6007, 603-250-6007. You can also text me at 617-917-4476. I'm on social media at Matt Connarton. You can email me, matt@mattconnerton.com. And of course, you can interact and opine in the Facebook live chat. But the best thing to do so that we can hear and enjoy your dulcet tones is to give us a call at 603-250-6007. And we'll go ahead and say hello to everybody in the chat room. Of course, we have Jenny in there. She says, shalom, peeps. Also, Isaac Banks from Greensboro, North Carolina in the chat room. Easy G, Eric Gagnon also joining us. Hello. Isaac Banks says, good afternoon, hashtag Tori Stressman. Hope you can check your message on Instagram if you can. Matt Connarton, I was giving a shout out to my friend Tori Stressman from Greensboro, North Carolina. Well, shout out to Tori Stressman in Greensboro, North Carolina. Very nice, very nice. Melanie La Liberty from the great state of Vermont joins us and says, hey guys. Erich Pilcher, of course, who does our classic film reviews. We were just talking about you, Eric. He is in the chat room. He says, good afternoon. Isaac Banks says, good afternoon, hashtag Erich Pilcher. Maybe sometime if you do a movie review of 1988 Jack's Back, starring James Spader and Cynthia Gibb. I'm sure that's already on his list, Isaac Banks. I don't know if I've ever even heard of that movie. Jack's Back? I mean, I'm familiar with Cynthia Gibb and James Spader, fantastic actor. I love James Spader. But I don't know that movie, Jack's Back. But it was 1988, so it would fall within the parameters of what Eric considers classic, I suppose. Melanie says, what? I didn't know it was your favorite gay of the week, Matt. No, day. I mean, I am, of course, an LGBTQ plus ally, but no, I said favorite day of the week, unless Freudian slip there. Who knows? Let's see. Melanie said, I'm not sure who your favorite gay is, but I have to say, I am a little curious now. Who would be, actually? Let's see. I'm trying to think. Is there a particular gay person I'm particularly fond of? I mean, I have gay friends whom I love, but I'm assuming you're maybe a gay celebrity that I'm trying to think of somebody who really stands out. I don't know. I can't think of anybody. I remember when I was a kid, I liked Merv Griffin's talk show. I don't know if he was out yet at that point. Let's see. Paulie C joins us in the Facebook live chat. He's got the captioning on, apparently. He says, Facebook interprets your words as endopine when I say endopine in the Facebook live chat. Endopine, cool name for a band. That would be a cool name for a band. Endopine. Pine, of course, being a type of wood. I'm thinking something sort of Americana or a jam band from Vermont. Melanie says, I very much appreciate how much thought you gave, how much thought you are giving to who is my favorite gay. I'm trying to think, is there someone in particular, a gay celebrity whom I really like? Oh, I do. So I've never paid much attention to him outside of this, but when Howard Stern, whenever he has Andy Cohen on the show, I do enjoy that. I like Andy Cohen. I like the rapport that he and Howard have. So there you go. I guess it's Andy Cohen. He's my favorite gay person. How's that? Until I think of somebody else. 603-250-6007. 603-250-6007. Oh, I've got one. Rob Halford from Judas Priest. There you go. You got another thing coming. One of my favorite songs. Yes, actually, I'm going to change my answer. I'm going to make him. He's the one. He's my favorite. Let's see. We should talk about this. There is news on a subject that is near and dear to my heart. Listen to this, everybody. Listen to this. Because for those of you who don't know, and obviously if you are local to the area, I'm sure you know, but if you're one of our fine listeners from across the nation and around the globe, as I like to say, you might not know this, but here in New Hampshire, we take great pride in the first in the nation primary. We love being the first in the nation primary here in the state of New Hampshire for the presidential primaries and caucuses and so forth. Iowa, of course, our friend from Erich Pilcher, he's in Iowa. They have the first in the nation caucus, but we have the first in the nation primary. And we have for as long as I've been alive, at least. And so this is very important to me. And I'm very selfish about it. And, it's the one time, every 4 years where the rest of the country sort of looks in our direction and says, oh yeah, New Hampshire, that's a place, so it's important. We take a lot of pride in it here. I take a lot of pride in it. And to paraphrase Charlton Heston, as he once said in a speech in front of the NRA, you'll have to pry the New Hampshire primary from my cold, dead hands. That's how much it matters to me. I wouldn't literally die for it, but as far as things I would actually be willing to die for, it's a short list. But I'm just saying, it matters to me quite a bit. And we've talked about this on the show over the past, I don't know how long this has been going on, 6-8 months maybe. This issue of the DNC, the Democratic National Committee, for the first time, again, at least since I've been alive, they want to take away our first in the nation status, and they want to make South Carolina the first in the nation primary. And apparently President Joseph Robinette Biden is very much in favor of this, probably because, if you remember, in 2020, he came in like 4th or 5th or something in New Hampshire. Then he went on to win South Carolina. But no, this matters to me. Jenny says in the chat room, we have been the first in the nation for over 100 years, not changing the laws to suit the Democratic Party. Yeah, and then there's a word there I don't think I can say, but usually Melanie's the one doing that, Jenny. Very good. But she said tough something else that starts with T. But I am not interested in giving in to the DNC's demands. Well, listen to this. It says here, this is from thehill.com. This actually was reported yesterday afternoon, but we didn't get to it. We had a wonderful guest yesterday. Mike Laughlin was here with us in studio for the full 2 hours. My old friend Mike Laughlin, very, very talented musician and just an incredible person. So we didn't get to any of this, but listen to this. DNC gives New Hampshire Democrats extension to comply with primary calendar. See, they've already changed the calendar. Oh, this is nice, though. This is nice, everybody. How generous of them. They're giving us an extra month to comply with the calendar. Oh, how generous. It says here, National Democrats voted to give New Hampshire party officials another extension to finally set a new Election Day date amid tensions over the state's early voting status. In a meeting with the Democratic National Committee's Rules and Bylaws panel on Thursday, members voted in favor of pushing the deadline to October 14 for New Hampshire Democrats to send in a revised outline for delegates and proposed slot on the calendar. State Party Chairman Ray Buckley said in a statement, quote, "We have done everything in our power to comply with the DNC's requests with regard to our primary calendar and have every intention of complying with New Hampshire state law from which the primary date is set," unquote. So if you don't know what that's about, what he's referring to, so it sounds like Ray Buckley, to his credit, he's digging in on this. And our Republican governor, Chris Sununu, also, and we'll get to what he had to say about this, is newest on this. But Buckley clearly is digging in because when he refers to New Hampshire law, we have a state law in New Hampshire that says we have to go first. No matter what, we have to go first. There have been past presidential cycles where another state tried to move up the date on their calendar to try to get a jump on us. So what did we do? Well, we have this law. So we moved our date up. We can play that game too. So that's what Ray Buckley is referring to. New Hampshire state law says we go first. Now, I can understand from the point of view of the DNC, they're saying, well, wait a minute. What do we care about New Hampshire state law? That's their law. So what? We're the ones, this is a national process. I can understand from their point of view. They're looking at us like, oh, you made a law about it. Yeah, so what? However, while I can see that side of the argument, I shan't be caving to it because, again, I'm going to be selfish and say, we're going first no matter what. How dare you think any differently? That's my position on the matter, which is similar to Ray Buckley's position, I think. I'm being a little less eloquent about it. The DNC has been working on several changes to the presidential primary this cycle, with New Hampshire being at the forefront of the debate and occasionally a cause of controversy within the party that wants to put the procedural questions to rest. The unrest started when the same Rules Committee voted for South Carolina to go ahead of the granted state with support from President Biden and the White House. New Hampshire was bumped down to second place as a result, and tensions escalated when officials blew past a deadline on the first of the month that required members to clearly list a primary date with the names of delegates. Top Democrats, including Buckley, told The Hill in the lead up to the vote this week that they still see a clear opportunity for Biden to compete well against Republicans on policies where they believe they have the edge, including abortion. But the primary date discussions, which have played out publicly as Biden seeks a second term in office, are also seen to many as a distraction beyond the top of the ticket, potentially impacting down ballot races where they need the full power of the party on their side. He stressed that Democrats in his state are, quote, laser focused on winning our upcoming special elections and the city races this year. We look forward to putting this unnecessary distraction behind us and focusing on electing granite state Democrats, unquote. So it sounds to me like he's saying, no, we've got other more important things to worry about. So go away, leave us alone. We're going first. That's it. Goodbye. It sounds like that's what he's saying. I'm paraphrasing. I would just like to say, too, obviously, I have no power or authority over anything, but I would just like to offer my own response. to the DNC on this matter specifically. But I actually can't. The particular response that I have in mind, I can't really offer here. Perhaps I will later on social media. The problem being, it involves, this is a radio show, so it's not visual. I mean, there is a visual component if you're watching online, but it is first and foremost a radio show. And the response that I have in mind, it's actually visual, so that wouldn't work here necessarily. It involves one of my hands. Doesn't matter which one, left or right hand. Pick one. Doesn't matter which hand, but it does matter which finger. Either hand is fine, but a very specific finger would be a part of the particular message that I'd like to send them on this particular issue. And that matters because different fingers convey very different messages. For example, a thumb would be a thumbs up. A pinky might be I'm promising something. Pinky swear, whatever. No, I have something else in mind, so I can't really, again, but it's radio, it's theater of the mind, so. And if you are watching, online or on cable, I don't think management here really wants me to be doing that anyway, so, I'll leave it to your imagination, but I do have a response to the DNC on this, and no, it doesn't involve my index finger. Like I'm not going to, tell anybody, you're number one or I'm number one or anything like that. I don't even know what the finger is called between the middle and the pinky. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But I have some I have some ideas for the DNC and what they can do on this particular matter. Now, let's look at, because the other part of this that I've been kind of just flummoxed by is even if the DNC, the Democratic National Committee, says you have to move the date of your primary, it seems to me it's not only up to the DNC to say that, and then the state Democratic Party here in New Hampshire to comply or not comply. What about the Republicans? They have a primary. Are we going to have separate primaries? Are we gonna actually change the date of the New Hampshire primary, but still have a Republican, have the Republican primary be first in the nation, but have the Democratic primary at a later date? That wouldn't make any sense. Are there any states that do that? Maybe there are, and I just don't realize it. But I don't think there are. I think everybody has their primary. You do it all. It'd be logistically and I would imagine financially pretty challenging to have two completely separate primaries on two separate days, right? So don't you also need, if you're going to do this, if you're going to actually move the date of the primary, don't you also need the other party's cooperation in doing that? Well, our Republican governor, Chris Sununu, to his credit, he hasn't blinked on this. He also, he and Ray Buckley seem to be in agreement on something. Sununu's a moderate Republican, so actually there's probably a few things. But anyway, Sununu has not budged on this. Now, this is from the Washington Examiner. This also went up yesterday afternoon. Sununu claims New Hampshire will hold first primary, quote, whether Joe Biden likes it or not. I like this. It says here, Governor Chris Sununu targeted President Joe Biden in a social media post on Thursday, saying his state will hold the first presidential primary regardless of whether the president likes it. The Democratic National Committee extended the deadline for New Hampshire to comply. Okay, we know that. We covered that already. All right, skipping down. This is what Sununu said on social media. Quote, New Hampshire will not comply with the arbitrary demands and deadlines coming from Joe Biden and the DNC. We will not back down. New Hampshire will be going first, whether Joe Biden likes it or not. Unquote. Excellent. The DNC Rules and Bylaws Committee, which unanimously approved the extension, said New Hampshire needed to overhaul its voting laws to secure the second primary date. As New Hampshire law states, the Republican and Democratic primaries must be held on the same date. Okay. And the state must be first. That I didn't realize, by the way. I didn't realize that was part of the law. The law that says we go first. Apparently, according to this, it's also part of the law that says you cannot split the primary. It has to be on the same date, Republicans and Democrats. It has to be on the same date, according to the law, according to this article. It says here, otherwise, the granted state could see the nomination convention decline to recognize its delegates in the voting process, according to the Boston Globe. By the way, that's an empty threat. Who cares? So, and I remember, I seem to remember we talked about this specifically on the show before too, this aspect of it. If we don't comply, they might refuse at the Democratic National Convention to seat our Democratic delegates. What's it matter? So what? None of that matters. It's all, it doesn't matter. Joe Biden, he is the incumbent Democrat. He is going to be the nominee. Of course, actually, I mean, we know who both nominees are going to be. It's also Trump is in a sense, the incumbent on the Republican side because he was the last Republican to hold the presidency. So basically, you've got two incumbents. They're going to be the nominees. We know that. So, you know, if the DNC wants to play hardball and say, well, if you don't comply, we're not going to seat your delegates, fine, don't. What does it matter? It doesn't matter. It's not going to affect anything. You don't need does Joe Biden need our however many delegates we have here? Is that really going to be necessary? Because you, the DNC, don't seem to think that New Hampshire is important enough for us to continue to go first. So if you have so little regard for our wonderful state, then maybe you don't need our delegates to be there. So whatever. And I would even add what you can do with your delegates. But again, that goes back to the hand thing. And we've moved on. So it says here, if the state fails to comply with the party's demands, the president could also be left off the ballot. Well, then well, that's a bit self-defeating, isn't it? New Hampshire. So in other words, is President Biden then by doing this because this is all his doing? And we know why. Again, you go back to 2020, he did horribly in New Hampshire. He owes his entire presidency to Congressman James Clyburn of South Carolina for endorsing him. That's what put him back in the race and propelled him to the presidency. It all turned on South Carolina. He did horrible here and in Iowa. It all turned on South Carolina. So again, so he might not be so you're going to leave him off the ballot here in the primary because we didn't comply? Again, what's it matter? It doesn't matter. Fine. Leave him off the ballot here. And we'll let Marianne Williamson will walk out of New Hampshire with maybe she'll actually win the New Hampshire primary. That'd be kind of cool. She was a guest on the show, so I'm partial to her. Certainly don't agree with her on everything, and she's definitely to my left, but you know, she did come and, you know, I haven't seen President Joe Biden on my show. Have you? No, but Marianne Williamson, she came and talked to us. Let's see. So the DNC Rules and Bylaws Committee co-chairman James Roosevelt told Fox News, quote, "We committed at the outset of this process to allow for every opportunity for states to honor the opportunity of hosting their..." Okay, wait, I have to stop there. Dude, you don't use the word opportunity twice in the same sentence. That is so obnoxious to me. I don't like redundancy. I don't like repetition. I don't like monotony. I don't like somebody using the same words over and over. It really bothers me. It upsets me. It ruffles my feathers. It gets under my skin. I try never to do that. I endeavor to avoid doing that. I make a strong effort to avoid doing that myself. Oh, Jenny said in the chat room, reasons why Matt makes a good editor. Thank you. Thank you. Anyway, well, I hate this sentence, but I'll read his full quote. Makes my skin crawl seeing the word opportunity pop up. It's not even like it's used at the beginning of the sentence and then again at the end of the sentence. It's like both opportunities are toward the middle of the sentence. Anyway, I'm sure he's a wonderful person, and I'm just that type of thing annoys me. Okay, quote. "We committed at the outset of this process to allow for every opportunity for states to honor the opportunity of hosting their nominating contests within the early window. We want to recommit to that principle and continue to work with the New Hampshire Democratic Party towards that goal and that opportunity." Okay, I added that last opportunity. I was just being a wise butt. Eric Pilcher in the chat room says the Bureau of Redundancy Bureau. Yes. I don't like redundancies. Okay. The extension, there's just a little bit more here, and then we're going to get to Eric's review. The extension will last until October 14, 2023. State law grants New Hampshire Secretary of State Dave Scanlon, a Republican, sole authority to schedule the primary, which he has not done. On Wednesday, he announced that candidates can sign up between October 11 and October 27. The committee has made similar demands of Iowa. Oh, I didn't realize this. You hear this, Eric? Eric's in Iowa. The committee has made similar demands of Iowa, which holds the caucuses before any state's primary, but Iowa has also not reached an agreement with the DNC. Good. Stand firm, Iowa. Fight the power. You got to fight the power. Fight the power that be. Miriam Banish joins us in the Facebook live chat. Hello, Miriam. All right. Oh, and I see Chris from the band Edgewise also in the chat room. Hello, Chris. Eric says, take our caucus, please. It is a caucus, so you're probably not as protective of it as we are of our first in the nation primary, which I'm willing to fight for. We established earlier, I'm not willing to die for it, but I am willing to fight for it. And when I say fight, I don't mean violently. I don't wish to engage in fisticuffs. I just mean that, I'm willing to, I don't know. There's not really much I can do about it, actually. I don't have any power. I'm just a talk show host. But I suggest we all rise up. Maybe if this doesn't go our way, we can pick a date and go and storm the DNC headquarters? No, never mind. That's not a good idea. Eric says there are Tijuana donkey shows more organized than our Iowa caucuses. Yeah, if you're a longtime listener, you might have heard this, but Eric and I have had more than one conversation on the show where he has tried to explain to me very patiently how the Iowa caucuses actually work, how a caucus works, because it's very confusing to me. I do have to say he wasn't necessarily successful. I still am baffled by it. It does sound very confusing. A primary is easy. You go and you vote, and that's it. You go and you vote. You vote, and you're done. You get the little I voted sticker. If you happen to be as you're walking out of the after voting, if you happen to see a box of donuts, they're probably for the staff working, but you can pretend you don't realize that and just grab one. No one's going to say anything, at least once your fingers are on it. It's fun, but caucus, it just sounds very confusing. All right, let's do this. We're going to go to Eric Pilcher's classic film review, and then we're going to show some love to our amazing sponsors. And then, coming up in the second hour, Numero Dos, the band Abel Blood will be joining us live in studio. They are our musical guests today. Their brand new album, Arrival of the Waves, just came out today. And really looking forward to meeting those guys and talking with them. So we've got a fun show today. But without further ado, this is Eric Pilcher's classic film review. The subject this week is the 1981 George A. Romero film, Knightriders. Check it out.
Once, courageous knights roamed the land, searching for adventure, ready to brave any challenge. Knightriders. The knight is a fighting machine, disciplined in mind and heart, and noble to the death. Knightriders. Action. Adventure. Romance. Heraldry. Pageantry. And magic.
Magic got to do with the soul, man. Only the soul got destiny.
Knightriders. They ride for the crown. They fight for honor.
That kid thinks I'm Evil Knievel.
That kid thinks you're William the Knight. You're his hero.
I'm not trying to be a hero. I'm fighting the dragon.
Following a dream as far as it will take them. Because a legend lives as long as someone believes.
This isn't just a roadside carny anymore. Not for some of us. It's a lot more than that. It's a whole lot more. You know that, Morgan.
You guys is the most fun I got in my life. I just don't want to see you all break up.
You think it's breaking up?
It's money, Billy. It's all to do with money. Money makes the world go around, even your world.
Small town jails is uncomfortable places.
Damn uncomfortable.
Throw down the gauntlet. Take up the challenge. A new age begins. Romance and adventure live. Knightriders. The legend is born.
Renaissance fairs have long been a part of American culture. It attracts millions of people every year across the nation. And many feel it is one of the inspirations for comic book conventions and cosplay. For this week's Romero film, the fair is seen as an allegory for the ultimate divisiveness of society and what truly makes Romero one of the greatest filmmakers. Knightriders, which was released in 1981, introduces us to a traveling troupe whose participants joust on motorcycles in battles to determine the king of the group. The group has two differing views, that of the leader King William, who this is his life. To him there is no other way to live. Then there is Sir Morgan, the chief rival of King William, played by longtime Romero collaborator and horror special effects guru Tom Savini. In the battles, who looks at the troupe as a business, an entertainment, and wants to see the group become something bigger to generate more money. This film goes against the pale of films that George A. Romero is known for. Horror. I feel it is best to start this review with an explanation from the man of honor this month himself. In our first two clips, Romero explains how Knightriders came to be, and then his thoughts on the film and how he felt his fans would respond to it. Sadly, Romero has often had an unfathomable, self-depreciating view of his work, and it comes out in our second clip.
It was funny. I had written a script about basically the same story, but I had them on horseback. I modeled it after there was a group called Society for Creative Anachronism that stages these jousts. And I was pitching it around. And it was actually Sam Arkoff. We pitched it to Sam Arkoff. And he said, I'll tell you what, put the guys on motorcycles and maybe I'm interested. In typical Sam Arkoff style. And I fumed over that, for months. And then finally, I had the script, basically. And I finally came around to saying, maybe that's not so crazy. And it would modernize it and bring it up to date. And so I decided to go with it. And all I basically did was rewrite the script. And Sawa Hassanan, he gave us a 3-picture deal. But he said, one of them must be sequel to Dawn. And so, fab. So we wound up under that deal doing Knightriders, Creepshow, and Day of the Dead. And I never had so much freedom ever in my life, my career, whenever. I mean, Sala basically let us make the movies. I really felt when I was making the film that it was important. It was important to me. That meant that I put my best into it. And so I know that I was sort of at my best when I was on that set.
And now, how Romero felt his fans would react to this change.
No, I have forever in my career tried to look for something new that I could do. I've always wanted to make Tarzan of the Apes. I mean, you know, and yet I'm stuck in this sort of niche with horror. I don't know that anyone who is a fan of my horror work, my zombie films, is going to look at Knightriders and get much out of it. Only, I think, people that are either personally interested in me or interested in what makes me tick, maybe will. But I think basically fans today, audiences will react, general audience will react pretty much the way they did back then, which is not respond very positively.
I feel, and many film critics agree, that William, who is played by Ed Harris in this film, is in a way a characterization of Romero, a man that has a vision, and a way he chooses to live his life and do things. Romero, for most of his career, had that same ethos, that his films would be done his way, and if it meant not having major studio support or big budgets, then so be it. That is evident in our next clip. Over a campfire, William is speaking with Steve, the troop's legal representative. Why I chose this scene is I want you to hear William's dismissiveness over getting TV executives involved. And then at the end, one of William's loyal members makes a case for him to consider taking the deal.
Guy wants to handle us? What do you mean he wants to handle us? I thought that's what you did.
Yeah, I can get you into Lawrence. I can get you into Brower even. But I don't know the big circuit. I'd still be with you for legal and all.
The big circuit?
You can pull $15K out of Brower. You could pull 30 or 40 out of some of these big county fairs. Hell, Billy, I can't even get those folks on the telephone. They book acts from guys like this guy that they've been dealing with all along.
We're not an act.
Yeah. Well, neither's bull roping, you know what I mean? You do 3 or 4 of these big gigs this summer, you can do whatever the hell you want for the rest of the year. Hell, this guy's talking about setting you up with all fancy new costumes. He's even talking about setting up some deal with some cycle manufacturers.
I'm surprised you even brought this guy around, Steve.
Well, damn it, Billy, I'm just trying to help you along. You guys is the most fun I get in my life. I just don't want to see you all break up. Damn it, Billy, you all stone broke most of the time. And you're taking every damn long hair that knows how to make a pair of sandals, and you want to pick up the Blue Cross tab? Do you have the slightest idea what gas is selling for, or 2x4s, or hamburger, or anything else?
You think it's breaking up?
It's money, Billy. It's all to do with money. Money makes the world go around, even your world.
You know, it's just getting too tough. It's tough to live by the code. I mean, it's real hard to live for something that you believe in. People try it and then they get tired of it. Like they get tired of their diets, or exercise, or their marriage, or their kids, or their job, or themselves, or they get tired of their God. You can keep the money you make off this sick world, lawyer. I don't want any part of it. Anybody who wants to live more for themselves, it doesn't belong with us. Let them go out and buy some pimpy psychiatrist paperback says it's okay. Don't ask me to say it's okay. It's not okay.
Once I was in a jail in Alabama, and I got my ass kicked, just like I did last night. Only then it was because I was in the... Well, I woke up in the morning, and I didn't even have energy enough to lick my wounds. I found out I'd given up. So I tried to kill myself. Tried to cut my wrist with a bed string. See, I found out that I'd given up on it all because of where I was, what was all around me. Well, last night, I get my ass kicked. I came up laughing. Because now I'm in Camelot. See, the way I see it is this. You got two separate fights. The one for truth and justice and the American way of life and all that, that's got to take a back seat to the one for staying alive. You got to stay alive. Man, you can have the most beautiful ideals in the whole world, but if you die, your ideals are going to die with you. The important thing is we got to stay together. We got to keep the troop together. And if keeping the troop going means that we have to take some of this promoter's money, well, then I say let's take it and get some sleep.
As I mentioned in the opening, at the crux of this film is the conflict between William and Morgan. Many film critics have analyzed this film and tried to find the metaphor to it. What is the major conflict, or what does the conflict stand for? That is something that Romero is known for. I feel it is simple. It is the battle between those that simply want to live their life the way they want, without compromise and interference, the side of William, and then the side of making it big, being successful, wealthy, and quote-unquote normal, the side of Morgan. Our next clip shows this, as William and Morgan have a heated argument over joining with a television executive. Again, at the conclusion of this scene, I want you to hear the two TV execs joking and salivating at the drama as this group, or some would say family, splinters in two different directions.
You get your food and your supplies. And it is right that everybody gets the same amount of spending money.
All the decisions are made here. But the merchants, they're like serfs, you know. Only the knights can make decisions.
The king makes the final decision.
On the advice of the knights.
We could all take in a little more cash if we didn't spend so much on weapons.
Yeah, and a lot less on parts, too. King.
Billy Davis.
Himself.
Oh, yeah. The goddamn knights have the cushions.
My God, he's hurt.
I mean, we all understand they're big, brave machos, but things are getting out of hand. They don't care what they smash up. We blow 5 bikes a week, parts cost a fortune, and those lances, then they let the townies ride with the stuff. Hey, look, you don't like it? Get out!
You think the people show up here to buy your goddamn jewelry? Your pots, your corn? Why don't you go sell them in some shopping mall somewhere? I just spent last night in jail with a man who got his head beat in for something he believed in. And if you don't believe it, then get the hell out of here.
Look, brother, you don't even know what we were talking about. All we were saying is just that...
What is this? What is this, a council meeting? Huh? This is a council meeting. You can't have a council meeting without everybody being here. You cannot have a council meeting without everyone being here. Oh, go shove your goddamn council meeting. Yeah? Yeah, that's a $20 fine. That is a $20 fine. You can pay me right now. You can get your ass right out of here.
Oh, man. We're already gone, Billy.
Hey, Billy. We're just trying to get some things together for you, man. Where's Marlo? Marlo's not here. I'm not here. I'm not here. Man, you know this. You know. Where's Tuck? Where the hell is Tuck?
Now, this is a picture I'd like to get. My photographer caught with her pants down.
How's into that?
At this point, I feel it goes without saying that I'm a major fan of Romero's work. Through the years, I haven't been able to explain exactly why or go into major detail other than I know he makes great films and such. But what I have learned through my years of watching his films is that it is his independence. He never compromised. That is what I want from a director. I want someone that no matter what, they stick to what they feel is best. To me, that is what makes his films, as well as those done by John Carpenter, Quentin Tarantino, and Sergio Leone, great. And those are some of my other favorite directors. It is because their vision is always what is put on film, and anything less is a compromise they are unwilling to make. Much like King William, and that is truly heroic and worthy of the crown. I hope you join me next week when we continue our month-long tribute to George A. Romero. We will look at one of his genre-bending films, the 1978 release, Martin. For WMNH and Matt Connarton Unleashed, this has been a Classic Film Review with Erich Pilcher.
Come on down to the Hop Knot at 1000 Elm Street, Manchester's premier craft beer and gourmet pretzel bar. Tell us more, Trudy.
We make our dough fresh every day. We make a variety of styles of pretzels and serve craft beer, cocktails, and a few bottles of wine. We do the traditional pretzel, and we have multiple flavors for that. We also do stuffed pretzels, pretzel sandwiches, free dessert pretzels, and pretzel knots.
The Hop Knot in the Brady Sullivan Plaza at 1000 Elm Street.
Bring your kitchen to life with Queen City Cabinetry, located at 87 Elm Street in the historic Sunbeam Mall in Manchester. Open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. and Saturdays, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. They can be reached at 603-222-2007 or on the web at queencitycabinetrynh.com. Come see the possibilities. Queen City Cabinetry, another proud sponsor of WMNH.
Clemento's Pizzeria, family friendly, awesome for a date night. Clemento's Pizzeria. For delivery, call 603-782-8450. Clemento's Pizzeria, the best pizza in town. 1875 South Willow Street in Manchester, New Hampshire. Best cocktails around. Come in as friends and leave as family.
This hour on WMNH is sponsored by CGI Business Solutions, located at 5 Dartmouth Drive in Auburn. They serve all your business needs, including employee benefits planning, corporate design and business administration, investments and wealth management, and customized business insurance solutions. Their phone number is 866-841-4600 or on the web at cgibusinesssolutions.com.
WMNH, rip the knob off.
Nice. That is Scrape the Dirt from Abel Blood, and these guys are here with us in studio. We're going to talk to them in a moment. Really looking forward to this. Welcome back, everybody. We are into hour number 2, Numero Dos of Matt Connarton Unleashed, and we are live from the studios of WMNH 95.3 FM in glorious downtown Manchester, New Hampshire. Also on Comcast 97 if you're in Manchester, and hello to all of our online listeners across the nation. Oh, I said Comcast 97, didn't I? Comcast Channel 6. I can't get used to that. That's Friday. And hello to all of our online listeners across the nation and around the globe. You can go to my website, mattconnarton.com, for all your live streaming options, social media links, contact info, show archives, etc., etc. Today is Friday, September 15, 2023, and Abel Blood is here. Welcome, guys.
Hey. How's it going, Matt?
Very well, very well. Adam, let's we'll start with you. Tell us who you are and what you do in the band.
Oh, I'm Adam. I'm the lead singer and lead guitar player, and swapping off bass duties.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good, very good. And Jim?
Jim DeLuca. I play drums.
All right. And Malcolm?
Malcolm Salz. I play rhythm guitar and sing backup.
And
half the bass.
Half the bass.
And half the bass. Okay. So on the record, so how does that work live then?
Oh, it's pretty cool. We use a splitter, ABY splitters, and
really,
yeah, it really drives it home.
No kidding.
Yeah, people that keep coming up and asking us too. They're like, "How are you doing this? You got no bass player?" I'm like, "No, we're bass players. We're both bass players." And they're like, the low end's there.
Yeah,
but they're like, "Where is he?" And yeah, but it works.
That's incredible. I've never heard of anyone doing that before.
Yeah.
Do you know of anyone else who does it that way? I've never.
Royal Blood does
really?
it.
Telekinetic Yeti.
Yeah, Telekinetic Yeti.
Really?
Yeah.
I'll be
There's a
damned.
few bands out there that
never
do it.
would have even occurred to me, but that's brilliant. That's really cool.
I think the most famous band that did it was, I think Local H.
Yeah,
did
well,
it.
Local H was a 2-piece.
That's true. Okay, I forgot about that. Yeah, that's true. Wow, that's cool though. All right, yeah. Well, it seems to work, huh?
Yeah, well, definitely.
So in studio, what do you just? How does it work in studio?
In studio, we had a bass player.
Yeah, we had a bass player there.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. But not like an official member. 'Cause
Right.
Officially,
right.
it's just the three of you.
Yeah, it's just the three of us here.
Okay. And we were kind of talking off air too about. I opened with Mental Note. It's just such an epic song. And what is it, about 11 and a half minutes?
11 and a half minutes.
But it's so, like we were talking off air, it goes by quickly. It doesn't feel like it's that long.
Right.
And the response in the chat room was very positive. People were
nice.
really digging it. So really,
Well,
really good.
I think like you two guys too. I've listened to the album probably 4 times today.
Really?
Yeah, just.
And I always thought like
I'm
Mental
guilty
Note
of
was
that.
too long, but then I'm listening to it. It's like, wow, that kind of.
Yeah, before you know it, it's over.
Yeah.
Because it pulls you in, and you get so in tune to it that next thing you know is, oh, now the song's over. Like, oh my God, I can't believe it's been 12 minutes, but or 11 and a half minutes or whatever it is.
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like all these songs have kind of an, Mental Note, probably because it's so long, it's particularly epic was the word I used. And I think one of you had said that was the second time
today that someone had said that to us.
Yeah. But all the songs I feel like have kind of a big sound to
That's
them,
what we're going for. We want to be loud. We want to be like our description usually is we try to be a wall of sound.
Yep.
That's what we want.
Yep.
It's funny. I was talking to yesterday. We had on a guest, Mike Laughlin, who's I don't know if you guys know him, very very talented singer songwriter. He does kind of mostly just plays by himself acoustic. But we were talking about that how important it is, especially with a live show, to have that wall of sound.
I love being swallowed up in it.
Yes, exactly. And this just came out today, right? Arrival of the Waves, the new album,
released today. Yep.
Where do you guys record?
This one we recorded in Jaffrey at Loud Sun Studio.
Okay.
We did the recording and mixing there with Ben Rogers. Guy's excellent. This is the second time we had recorded an album with him. And then we had it mastered here in Manchester at Black Art Sound.
Okay, that's
Erich Sauter. Yeah.
Yes, that's a name I hear a lot.
Who did
these
a
days.
tremendous job.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, everything I've heard is positive, both in terms of hearing people talking about him and what I've literally heard on the show. It seems like we've had a bunch of artists on who've
he's
worked
getting
with
quite
Erich.
a reputation. Yep.
I got to get him on the show.
Yeah, should.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, he's in a couple bands
Yeah.
that are pretty good. Oh, incredible.
Very talented guitar player.
What bands is he in? Do you know offhand?
Magnetar.
And Crone Visions. He does one with his girlfriend. And it's
Oh, no kidding.
It's
I'm familiar with Magnetar. Yeah. Yeah, definitely have to get him on that. I didn't realize that was him in that band. So what went into the decision to do? I mean, it's an album, 9 tracks. What went into the decision to do a full album? Because obviously we live in an era. I mean, we're all old enough to remember when it was, you either make an album or maybe an EP, but most bands make albums, right, back in the day. And now we live in a time when you can kind of do it. There's many different ways to do it. You can make an album, you can make an EP, you could just release a bunch of singles. Maybe you release a single once a month and eventually it makes an album. What went into the decision to do a full album?
I have a reputation of pooping songs out.
Yeah.
So we have a bunch.
Took the words right out of my mouth.
Yeah. And I knew when you were looking at me that's what you were thinking too.
Well, I was thinking, can we say poop on the radio?
Yeah.
Yes, you can. Yes. Poop is fine. Poop.
So yeah, we had them and we're pretty tight. We practice, regularly. So going into the studio, we cracked these all out in less than 2 full days.
Really?
We're able to get everything recorded. Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, we went in prepared. So we were like, let's just do it. Let's get as many songs
And to be
down
honest,
as we can.
I'm not sure we would have been able to decide which songs to put on the album and which not. So it worked out very well.
Is there also an advantage to doing it? I mean, obviously, when you're doing it quickly like that, the pressure's on. But at the same time, I would imagine you are able to capture some degree of spontaneity when you're not doing it over and over again.
Yeah, yeah, totally.
Well, Mental Note particularly, that song is it's a different song every time we play it.
And we did that in one take.
Yeah.
No kidding.
One take on Mental Note.
I think everything was one take.
Yeah,
wasn't it?
pretty much.
about.
But we took a month off of gigging and just practiced
Yeah.
over and over and over. So, because we're kind of cheap and we didn't want to waste money in the studio
Right.
learning a song.
Yeah. Oh, that's another good reason to to get it done quickly.
But Adam put it good. We were well prepared to do it.
Yeah.
So
we
went in with an agenda and we completed it.
Yeah. And you said Mental Note's kind of different every time you play it live?
Yeah, it's just a jam.
Yeah.
Like you jam it. So we were nervous to record it only because we didn't want to capture the feeling that we normally have with it, but it's always different. So we were just like, all right, let's just go in and do it. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And we were just like, as soon as we were done, normally, I don't know how long we usually play that song for. It's a different length every time.
I would imagine,
and we stopped and we asked Ben when we recorded it, we're like, how long was that one? And he's like 11.5 minutes. We're all jaws all dropped. We're like,
yeah.
it was. We thought we were playing for like 6 or 7
Yeah,
minutes.
I thought it was going to be like 7 to 8 minutes.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. Oh, that's cool. So you didn't even have any time in mind. You just kind of
we just jammed
when it was done, and when it was done, it was done.
Yeah,
that's cool. Yeah, because that's the only really long one. The rest of the tracks are all 3-4 minutes, 4.5 minutes.
Average length of song.
Yeah.
I mean, our first EP had a 9.5 minute song, Fire on the Hillside. So
oh, really? Yeah.
So it was I thought it was kind of cool to come back with this album and do another finale, if you would.
Yeah, yeah. Has the sound? Did the sound change at all between albums? Or?
I think we progressed a
Really,
lot. Yeah, we got a lot more psychedelic. We kept the heavy, but the heavy feels heavier.
Mm-hmm. That's good. Yeah. Very cool. We've got Abel Blood here with us in studio. If you have any questions or anything at all for the band, the studio line is open, 603-250-6007, 603-250-6007. You can also text me at 617-917-4476. I'm on social media at Matt Connarton. You can email me, matt@mattconnerton.com. And, of course, you can interact and opine in the Facebook live chat. But the best thing to do so that we can hear and enjoy your dulcet tones is give us a call at 603-250-6007. Jenny in the chat room says, well done, referring to the song we just heard. Or actually, I think she might be referring to Erich's film review. But she was saying earlier, she really, that's right. It was while Mental Note was on. She was commenting on how much she really likes that. She really likes your sound a lot.
Thanks, Jeff.
Appreciate it.
And and Rhonda Favero from California is in the Facebook live chat and said, "Wall of sound," a phrase coined by Phil Spector.
Indeed.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that's where the term came from. Yeah, very cool. Speaking of where things come from, where does the name come from, Abel Blood?
Aha. So Jimmy and I grew up in the Brookline, Hollis area. And there's a cemetery on the Nashua and Hollis line, Pine Hill Cemetery. And it's famous for being probably the most haunted cemetery in New Hampshire.
Okay.
And it's haunted by the spirit of Abel Blood.
Okay.
Yeah, there was actually a finger on his gravestone, and when kids would go there at night, the finger would be pointing up during the day, and at night, a lot of people would say that the finger would be pointing down towards the ground.
If you go online and look it up, there's a whole, big to do about it.
No kidding.
Fitz Weatherby did a story on him.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah.
You ever go there?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
About 30 years ago, Jimmy and I were in a band together, and we used to jam on the property that bordered the cemetery.
No kidding.
Yeah.
You ever see anything or hear anything or
no?
That's too bad, huh?
Would have been cool.
Yeah.
And the headstone's been vandalized, and
I think they've actually taken the headstone out.
Oh, no
yeah,
kidding.
I think it's at the Hollis Police Department, I believe. Or that's how the story goes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
But it's an interesting story. Look it up sometime.
Yeah.
We should all get arrested so we can take a picture with the headstone.
There we go.
That would be very, very rock and roll.
That would be so metal.
See, I originally thought before he joined the band that it was a biblical reference to
that's what I
Abel's
assumed.
blood
That's what
crying
I
out
assumed.
for vengeance from the earth. But this is just as cool.
Yeah.
No, Abel Blood was actually a person.
Yeah. That is pretty cool. And what a badass name to have, Abel Blood. If Abel Blood were alive today, he would no doubt
he'd be proud.
Be playing in a metal band with a name like that, right?
Right.
You would have
to.
You would have to. Yeah.
I don't know. I see him as like a polka kid.
You think so? Yeah.
Maybe Zydeco.
There you go.
Yeah,
Perfect
like
blend.
that. Yeah.
We bring it together.
Yeah.
And the album is called Arrival of the Waves. And by the way, I should hold up for people watching online. I'll hold it up to the camera there. You can see it. Very cool artwork. Yeah. You were telling me about how the artwork came about.
Actually, Malcolm would be much better to explain.
Yeah. How did you come about this artwork?
Well, I do a lot. Well, I started playing with AI art generation.
Yeah.
And I'd create images and then kind of tweak them in Photoshop. And I got really into a Polish artist, Beksinski, and it's disturbing stuff, but it's really neat art. So I try to do stuff in his style. So that's like I always wanted to draw or paint, and I never really could. So the AI kind of.
So when you're coming up with these, do you go into the generator and then I know a little bit about it. So do you type in a prompt like imagine? I don't know what you would type in for prompts to get these images. To be honest with you,
the cover is Arrival of the Waves. I typed in Arrival of the Waves, put in a couple of operators that got me the style and colors that I wanted.
No kidding, and it
then
gave
went
you
in
that.
And just kind of smoothed it. And,
That's cool. Because it's in a way, it's not what I would expect with that prompt, if that makes sense. Were you surprised at the image it generated?
I'm constantly surprised at some of the things it generates. I'll do like experiments where I will I'll pick an album and I'll take every song title and just do an art prompt on that.
Oh, no kidding.
And it gets some pretty cool stuff. And I've actually started writing poetry and lyrics based on the photos I get back.
Oh, no kidding.
The artwork it generates. Because it's not like a one-to-one, matchup as far as, what you put in and what you get out. So it always spits out something kind of neat that sometimes sparks something in me.
Yeah.
So next album.
Yeah.
and then so all the images and the artwork, they were all done that way?
Yes.
All right, I have to ask you. So, and unfortunately, well, I'll hold it up for the camera again for people watching on video. People listening won't know, but I am very curious what prompt generated that.
I think that prompt was Keeping Pace with the Elephants, which is the name of the
Oh, EP. Yes. Okay, I see it now. I didn't even see it at first looking at it. That's why I was so
Looks
curious.
like an elephant with pallets on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thanks, Jim.
But it's
cool. It's a cool
that's
image.
my favorite picture of the whole, all of it. Yeah.
I didn't know what I was looking at. That's why I was so curious about it, but it looked interesting. But that makes sense. Now I see it.
And I love on the cover the little, I don't know if you want to call it a being, But whatever that little being is, I think that's awesome. I've always loved that.
Yeah, I'll hold it up again for the camera. It's and people can obviously, go online, go on Bandcamp, and you'll find it. But I think that, and I think that's why I said for that prompt, I wouldn't have expected necessarily this image, because like I would expect that being to be a surfer, but that's not a surfer. It's just interesting. It's fascinating to me. But
it leaves a lot to the imagination.
Which is cool. Yeah. Oh, we should mention too, Adam. You it's funny, and this has happened to me before. It's inevitable, but when you guys got here, I think the first thing you said to me was we had met before.
Yeah.
And it was like 13 years ago on the other show that I do. I interviewed you. You were in the band Buck 55.
Yes.
And that's still online. People can still go and listen to that.
Yeah. It's on Reverb Nation.
Whatever happened to that band anyway?
Well, we lived far apart.
Yeah.
So it was harder and harder to get to practice.
Yeah.
We're still friends. I actually saw him 2 weeks ago.
Oh, good.
Yeah. We still see each other all the time. So.
Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, let's do this. Let's play another track from the new album just out today, Arrival of the Waves from Abel Blood. And what would you guys? I'll let you guys pick. What would you like me to play?
Yeah, let's do Reflections.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Reflections. All right. Anything you want us to know about this song before we play it?
The song's a trip. It's probably our most psychedelic song on the album.
Okay.
And probably we wrote this literally in minutes.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, the whole thing came together.
Yeah.
Within 20 minutes, probably. Though we had all the parts written out.
Oh, no kidding.
Ready to go. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Very cool. Let's check this out. This is Reflections, brand new from Abel Blood. That's a cool instrumental. That is Reflections. The band is Abel Blood. We've got the guys in studio with us, and we've been talking, and we're going to talk some more. I do want to remind you all, of course, that today is Friday, which means tonight we have Retro Spectrum Radio with Paulie C from 8 to 11 p.m., and I will be back for that show. Of course, I have the honor and privilege of being one of Paul's co-hosts on that show. So Friday is my long day here at WMNH, and I do love it. But we've got the guys from Abel Blood here in studio with us. And if you would like to join us, if you have any questions or feedback or anything at all for the band, 603-250-6007. The studio line is open, 603-250-6007. And speaking of AI, we have New Force of the Spark in the chat room with us. And New Force says, hello, hashtag Matt, we say from us. We say, hey, Abel Blood from us. We say, awesome, hashtag Jen Coffee from us. And we are from Greensboro, North Carolina.
Yeah.
Well, hashtag Matt Connarton, we should be watching Retro Spectrum Radio with Paulie C at 8 p.m. for us. So we have a lot of friends from Greensboro, North Carolina.
Right. Nice.
Join us in the Facebook live chat, and they all talk like that. And
Isn't that where Saturn Death Cult was from?
They were from Raleigh, North. Raleigh. No,
they're from near where Guar
West
was.
Virginia. Oh, they're Virginia.
Okay.
They were from Richmond, Virginia. Yeah.
Okay.
Not for Saturn Death Cult?
Oh, these guys are great.
Really?
They
Yeah.
Played a show with them in Boston a month and a half ago.
Oh, no kidding.
Unbelievable show.
Yep.
Nobody showed up. It was a storm of the century, that rainstorm we had.
Yeah.
They drove all the way up that day, and it was a Sunday afternoon show. And because it was raining so hard, I think nobody wanted to come out. We had one person, the coolest guy in the world.
Yeah.
Our buddy Jason from Wrought Iron Hex came. But other than that, no one else showed up.
Oh, wow.
But we didn't really
we
care.
got to
We
see
jammed.
them.
Yeah.
We had a personal show, which was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were so good live.
Oh, that's cool. Do you guys play out a lot? You play in a lot of shows?
Quite a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been quite a bit. We go playing Saturday night. We're going to be up in Maine at Charlie's Hill.
Yeah.
Playing with your friends Crooked Cash.
Yes.
That said hi, by the way.
Yes. Yep. We had those guys on a number of months ago, and they're coming back soon. Yeah, really, really good. Jenny said in the chat room, I really love this music. Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks, Jenny.
Thank you, Jenny.
Absolutely. Really good stuff. When you guys, you mentioned a song like Mental Note, it kind of changes every time you play it. What about the other songs? Do any of the other songs change, or is it really just Mental Note because it's such a jam?
I think my solos kind of change here and there. I don't memorize any of them, so the solos might change a little bit.
Yeah.
But the meat and bones of the songs stay pretty close to the same every time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I might have a little bit different tone if I've thrown my pedal board bag around a little bit. Some of the knobs might be turned, so you might sound a little different tonally. But otherwise,
we've made the mistake when we do Mental Note live. Like, it's all the pedals, and we just crank them all up at the end of the show, and just another wall of sound.
Right.
And I've made the mistake of not touching my board after a show where we play Mental Note. And the next night I go to sound check. Like, what is going on?
I crank
here?
every knob on my delay pedal.
Yeah.
And the next time I go to play, everything will be going right when I turn it back on the next day.
What it is, Matt, is we kept the song the exact same way that we created it.
Yeah.
We created it with no boundary. I think that jam, Adam just started playing the beginning part. I came in on drums. Malcolm came in on guitar. And it just ended up jamming it for a huge length of time. Because we've been playing together for a while, we kind of know what each other do, and the song came to an end. We're like, oh my God, we got to record that.
I also think Malcolm and I had just gone to see Godspeed You Black Emperor not long before
we were
that.
In a very jammy
in a very noise rocky
Who
type
were just
sound.
in Portsmouth.
Yeah.
Portsmouth.
Yeah.
Just
Oh, okay.
Portsmouth.
Yeah, so we had just seen them. They were very noise rocky sound,
So every
I think
time we
were really
practiced
inspired.
that song after, we did it the same way. We just jammed it and ended it when we felt that it was time to end the song.
Yeah.
And it held that way all the way through going in the studio and recording the album. We did it the same way we've always
We recorded everything live except for the vocals.
Yeah.
So we were able to just literally jam these tunes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Have you guys been together a long time? How long has this band been around?
So Jimmy and I have been jamming, pre-pandemic. We were actually in a band about 30 years ago together, a band called No Thanks. We were like a heavy metal band.
Yeah, heavy groove.
Yeah, early 90s. And then took a long break. But we started doing this again probably in 2020. Well,
2019.
We took a break at the beginning of the pandemic for a little while.
Yeah.
Just till we could figure out what was going on. And then after that, we got together, and Jimmy and I have been like the constant. We've had members come and go.
Yeah.
And then Malcolm's been with us for
who's never going to go.
We're not going to allow. We're going to break his legs.
He's going to be the first one that we don't allow to
Going to be a
leave.
Stumpy Joe Besser.
Yeah.
He gets that. One of Spinal
And
Tap
so it's kind of settled into this is what we are now.
Yeah. Very cool. You big Spinal Tap guy?
Oh, I love that movie.
Me too.
Anything those guys touch.
Yeah,
Come
yeah.
on. Like,
Goes to 11.
Yeah.
The other show that I'm on Fridays, hosted by Paulie C. We always kind of break his balls because he's never seen Spinal Tap.
You see, that's one of those,
and he would love it. And we're always telling him, dude, you'd love it.
I have a reputation of having seen a film, and I've seen it.
Yeah,
I think
I'm actually
I've seen
jealous
6
because
movies.
I would love to watch Spinal Tap for the first time again.
Yeah,
Yes.
That's something though. You may have to suspend that friendship until that.
I know
that
right?
connection is made.
I know.
It's like not grounding an amp or something like that.
Right.
Something bad's going to happen.
Yeah, he's also never seen Purple Rain, and that one.
Wow.
I've never seen Purple Rain.
Really?
You've never seen Purple Rain?
Yeah, I don't
I love-
think I've seen Purple Rain.
Wow.
I love the album,
Yeah.
but no, I've never watched the movie.
Oh, you got to see it. Prince's acting is phenomenal. No, I'm kidding. Actually, he's not that great, but much better musician than an actor. No, but the film, it is an incredible film. You should see it.
Even like Morris Day and the Time. Seeing those guys perform live.
Oh, yeah.
Holy crap, man.
Yeah.
That band was full of talent.
I wish I had seen them live. Like, I really
me
do,
too.
'cause
Me too. Yeah, I would have loved that. Well, I guess technically they're still. I think they still tour Morris Day.
I think they just call it Morris Day or something. They don't call it Morris Day and the Time anymore, but I think it's essentially the same band.
Yeah.
They just have a different name that they go by now.
Rhonda Favero in the chat room, our friend from California, she says the guitar work in that last song, Reflections, had a really cool Robin Trower vibe.
Oh,
nice. Excellent.
Bridge of Sighs is one of my favorite tunes, and that's the sound I was going for with the. I'm gonna freaking cry.
Oh, no kidding. No kidding. That's cool.
Nailed it.
Well done, Rhonda. Well done. You guys were kind of talking off air too while the song was playing that it's been a good day in terms of the response to the
A lot
album.
of good feedback. Yeah, absolutely.
Anything in terms of feedback that's really kind of surprised you? Like, oh, I wasn't expecting someone to.
Well, people other than people we're friends with or related to liking it surprises me.
Yeah.
I had a plant manager at my company out of the blue ask me for a copy the other day, and he sent me an album review this morning.
Really?
And he used Epic and Hypnotic for Mental Note.
Oh, no
and I
kidding.
was like just blown away that this guy actually took the time, out of his day. And he was like, after the third time I've listened to it in 24 hours, I'm like, are you kidding me? So it was funny that we actually got somebody to listen to this album more than once in that short of a time.
Yeah. Oh, that's really cool.
And with Mental Note, anytime, you have an 11.5 second song, you wonder how that's going to be received to some people.
Mm-hmm.
And so far, it almost seems like it's the favorite on the album so far.
So good.
From the feedback that I've gotten anyway.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, these songs are cool, but Mental Note is and it's like, all right, so an 11.5 song was well received. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, you just never know. I mean, that's part of the adventure of it in a sense, right?
Yeah.
But that's really cool. Do you play any of the older songs live still?
We do a lot. Lately, we've been doing 2 songs off the album. We've been promoting the new album, for quite a few months now. Mostly new stuff. But they're going to end up most of the songs will end up making their way back into the rotation. I'm looking back at it. These songs are really viable songs, and they're really good. I think I could have gone back and nitpicked them a little bit more on the recordings. But they're good songs, and we do rotate them in.
Yeah.
We do rotate them in, yeah.
And the EP was very well received.
It was well received, yeah.
Yeah.
And on this new album, the bonus track at the end is the title track off our first EP, Keeping Pace with the Elephants.
Oh, that's why it's called Slight Return.
So slight return because we do it differently on this album, because this one we do a stripped down acoustic version, and I play on a cajon rather than a drum set.
Yeah,
it came out really, and it still sounds really heavy.
That's really what's great about Ben. Like the drum sound he got out of that cajon was incredible.
Oh, unreal.
Really, yeah.
And it ties Malcolm into the first album because he wasn't around for the first album.
Oh, okay.
So it kind of brings him back to it.
So because of that, we play Keeping Pace with the Elephants live a lot right now because it is a song that's on the album. And if people haven't heard the first album, they hear that song and then they go back and they, investigate that we have another album and they listen to it. Like, there's Keeping Pace with the Elephants again. And then they hear the full band version that's, full on distortion and everything. And it's, we thought it would kind of be a neat little thing to do.
Yeah.
Plus Adam and I and Malcolm will do open mics some nights doing stripped down versions of our songs.
Oh, no kidding.
That's kind of how that was born too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. We'll pick an open mic every once in a while and we'll just
show
go
up as a band. And
Oh, wow.
Yeah, just do it.
Oh, very cool. It's cool to have that kind of flexibility to be able to do that. Yeah.
I wrote everything that we've recorded on an acoustic guitar. So,
oh, really?
Yeah. Pretty. So they translate quite well.
Yeah. You ever have anything that doesn't translate that you write it on the acoustic and then you go, I don't know if this works plugged in?
We haven't come across anything yet.
He's brought stuff to us that I've been like, I don't know if that'll work with distortion. This will be a mellow song.
Yeah.
And we kick the pedals and it's like, holy crap.
I'm usually the one going, hey, that sounds good. I want to hear it distorted. Like, really? I'm like, yeah.
Well, Kept Them Past worked that way. It was an acoustic song, and Jimmy's like, I want the fuzz pedal on that. And we did it, and we were like, whoa, all right, let's do it.
Really?
It was the last song I thought we were going to put fuzz on.
I think it was Keith Richards said in an interview once, though, if it doesn't work with just an acoustic guitar,
right,
it's,
Yeah.
Right. Well, we should, yeah, we got time. Why don't we, you want to give that one a listen? Kept Them Past?
Yeah.
Because I think you had said that was the original single, right? That you were kind of pushing?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's give this one a spin.
All
right. This is Kept Them Past from Abel Blood and the brand new album out today, Arrival of the Waves. Check this out. Kept Them Past by Abel Blood from the brand new album, Arrival of the Waves. We've got these guys in studio with us. And if you want to get in with a call, if you got anything for the band, 603-250-6007, 603-250-6007. You guys, you go for those long, the decay with the feedback on the
lot
guitar.
of sustain.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. Yeah. I think that's part of what gives it that epic quality.
Yeah, sure.
It doesn't seem like a lot of bands really do that anymore. I mean, there's probably more than I realized, but I don't know. I feel like it's been a while since I've kind of heard that ending to a song,
I'm too lazy to figure anything else out. I just hit that last note and let it ring.
Yeah. No, it works.
It's bringing me back to Spinal Tap. You can just hit that, go out and have a bite.
right.
Come back. It's
the sustain, yes.
Sustain. Don't touch that.
Use that time to put your pedals back to where they belong.
Right.
Now, what do you guys have coming up as far as you got any shows this weekend? You must be playing somewhere this weekend.
Yeah, this Saturday night we're up at Charlie's Hill and up in Lebanon, Maine.
Okay.
The end of the month, September 29th, we're actually here in town on Elm Street. We're at Top Shelf Tattoo.
Excellent.
Yeah, we're going to be playing with Dust Prophet.
Oh,
yeah.
I used to be in a band with Otto from.
Otto's great.
Yeah,
he's a good. He's a buddy of ours.
Yeah.
And Trading Tombstone's going to be on that bill.
Oh, they're really good.
And there's a band coming up from Philadelphia called Shadow Witch.
Okay.
We're really looking forward to playing with all these guys.
Super excited to play this show.
Yeah.
Which playing shows has been great because we've talked about this. I love shows we get on where it's like 4 bands and nobody sounds the same. And you just make some buddies and listen to a whole bunch of different kinds of music.
It is really great playing with out a lot. Like we've gotten to know so many bands around the area and love all of them. You know what I mean? As people love their music.
Yeah.
It
seems like you guys too can kind of fit in with different, you fit in with metal bands, but you also probably fit in.
Yeah,
with
I think in the beginning we had trouble getting gigs because people didn't know where to put us.
Yeah.
Because we had heavy riffs.
Yeah.
So we could play with hardcore bands, but we didn't quite fit in with that. And then we would play with some metal bands, and we didn't quite fit in that. So they're just trying to figure us out, but we're starting to get quite a bit of gigs.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
We're also playing October 22nd at Pub on the Park in Cranston, Rhode Island.
Okay.
And then November 26th, we're back up in Manchester at the
16th.
16th. Yes,
you have to change that.
I got to
date.
change that.
Oh.
16th, November 16th at the
another show
in Manchester.
Another show with Dust Prophet.
Yes.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
Outstanding. Jenny shared the link in the chat room too to Bandcamp, and I assume this is on all the streaming services, right?
Yeah. It was all released at midnight.
The only one it wasn't on this morning was Pandora.
Okay.
Yeah.
It'll be there.
Yeah,
it's definitely on Spotify.
Yep.
It's on
Amazon Music.
Yeah.
Apple Music.
Outstanding. And you've got physical copies.
We've got physical CDs.
I appreciate you guys bringing those in. Was that a difficult decision whether or not to make physical discs or?
No, we just didn't know if we wanted to do vinyl or CD. I think
we wanted to do vinyl, but
it's expensive.
Yeah. I think
I exclusively will say don't rule it out because it's a possibility that it's coming.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I'd like to see that artwork in a big gatefold vinyl.
That's the beauty, the most beautiful part about having vinyl is being able to put the big, huge artwork on it.
Oh yeah.
Well, I can remember buying stuff simply because of the artwork.
Oh yeah.
And being like, okay, I'm going to roll the dice on this because if they like this art, it's
that's how you found
decent
music back in the day when you didn't have internet, you didn't have any other way to and you were in the mood for something new. You went to the local record store and you started looking at artwork.
Yeah, it was either doing that or Headbangers Ball. It was the only two ways I knew of getting new music.
It was 120 minutes with
120 minutes. Yep.
I missed them both. I've got somewhere in a storage unit. There's I've got a bunch of old VHS tapes of Headbangers Ball.
Yeah.
I'm sure they don't play anymore. Even if I had anything to play them on, they're probably all super damaged and all that. But now, where should people? I want to make sure too people know where to go online to keep up with everything you guys are doing as far as shows and whatnot.
We keep our Facebook, Abel Blood Facebook, up to date most.
Yeah.
I'd like to say I'm good with the Instagram, but I'm not.
Yeah.
I don't keep it up very well.
Yeah.
But I do post on there fairly frequently. Jimmy does the EPK
on Sonic Bids.
Okay.
He keeps that up to date.
You can go there and you can see past shows, upcoming shows, videos, the bio, links to all our socials, everything.
Excellent.
Yeah,
Excellent.
I think to get the most current stuff is probably our Facebook page.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. And we should make sure people know too. Abel is ABEL, just so no one's misspelling it, looking for you guys.
Yes.
Although if you Google it the other way, you probably still come up. I would hope.
Yes.
But
you come up with Abel Blood and Saving Abel.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Those are the
Saving
bands that
Abel.
come up when you do it.
Yeah. And then obviously this album is fresh. It came out today, but are you already thinking about the next one? Because you said you
we're about halfway done writing.
Yeah.
the next one.
Yeah.
It's going to be heavier too.
Yeah.
Really? Yeah.
And the song "Arrival of the Waves" will probably end up on that album.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, so there's an actual song called "Arrival of the Waves"?
Yeah, that's how we got the name. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So I like to do little homages to bands that I like, and this might be our homage to Led Zeppelin.
Oh, no kidding. Okay.
Like they had Houses of the Holy was on Physical Graffiti.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do something like that where we'll just put Arrival of the Waves.
Yeah.
On the next album,
or we'll just steal a bunch of blues music.
And we could do that.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Yes, that's been a subject on Retro Spectrum Radio with Pauly C. The other show that I'm on later on Fridays is Led Zeppelin and their plagiarism, some of which is really blatant.
Yeah, I can't believe that they won that case against, what was it, Targus or whatever? Sorry, I don't want to get into this now.
Yeah.
I don't want to hijack the interview.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about. No, it's what was the name of the band? Anyway, yeah. They did win. The Zeppelin won that one, didn't they? Yeah. Because it's really just one part of it that's the same. But man, some of those.
You mean the main riff?
Well, yeah, the main riff. But some of those, songs that they took from blues artists, like it's not even just the riffs.
Babe,
it's
I'm
like
gonna leave you.
It's like the lyrics too. It's like, oh my god, just shameless. I mean, I love Zeppelin. No offense. I mean, I
do too.
You've got the shirt.
Yeah.
But but yeah, they even stole a song from Joan Baez. Did you know that?
No.
I don't remember what song it is. But yeah, there's a song. I only know this because Pauly C., the host of Retro Spectrum Radio, brought it to my attention. There's a Joan Baez song that they lift, and when you hear it, it's like it's obvious. Like it's not even ambiguous. It's really obvious. It's like, oh my god,
that's crazy.
Hey, we're Led Zeppelin.
Yeah. Well, guys, this has been wonderful. I really appreciate y'all coming in. We'll close the show out with one more track. But I just want the listeners to know, too, if you missed any part of today's show, it'll be up in just a little bit at WMNHradio.org and at my website, MattConnarton.com. And it is Friday, so please come back tonight for Retro Spectrum Radio, 8 to 11 p.m. And don't forget, of course, Saturday mornings, we've got... here on WMNH, I always forget to plug this, but I'm trying to get better about it. A classic episode of The Morning Show with Peter White airs 7 to 9 a.m., followed by the best of Matt Connarton Unleashed from 8 to 11 a.m. on Saturday. And then, of course, we'll be back Monday. But I'll be back tonight for Retro Spectrum Radio. And, guys, thank you again. And
thanks, Matt.
It's been great.
Absolutely. And what song would you like to close with?
Needs to Live.
Needs to Live. Anything why this one? Anything we should know about
this
it?
This is our most Wally sound.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, very
song.
cool.
Yeah.
All right.
We love how it starts off mellow and then just smacks you in the mouth.
Right.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of want you to tell the story, but behind Seven Dead, though, before we.
Oh,
I'm curious.
Oh, Seven Dead story. Oh, well, I was watching a Publishers Clearinghouse commercial one day, and I couldn't come up with any lyrics.
Yeah.
And so I wrote the song about a Publishers Clearinghouse giveaway.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was it. I mean, it was. Yeah, I'm kind of a strange topic for a band that's heavy.
But why Seven Dead? How did you get Seven Dead from?
Well, I always imagine like really old people winning the Publishers Clearinghouse.
Oh, okay.
So, and you were winning $7,000 a day for life.
I didn't know this. I'm glad I brought it up.
7 people
that's
dead.
funny. Oh.
7 of them are dead every week.
Oh.
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You ever read a song about like consumer cellular or anything like that?
That might be the next subject I talk about.
Maybe a catheter commercial on cable TV.
I'm working on a concept album about Boost Mobile.
Yeah, excellent.
Yeah.
All right. That's a little younger generation, though. That's not really.
Well, I want to connect with the kids.
We're gonna get.
I see.
They're gonna get old though.
Yeah, they will.
Adam keeps people thinking, though. On our first album, the first track of the album is called "The Day That Moby Died."
Yeah,
and people thought he was targeting the rapper Moby.
Well, yeah, the musician.
Yeah.
Which we weren't.
Yeah. People, we had a review. Somebody reviewed our album and tagged him in it.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Not that we wouldn't want to get in an argument with Moby, right? I mean,
right.
You know,
good publicity.
Good publicity.
That's true. Yeah.
Melanie said in the chat room, "I love doing the Publishers Clearinghouse. I will do it for years. Convinced we are just a week away from being millionaires."
Nice.
You could already be a winner. Is that Publishers Clearinghouse? Okay. Yeah. All right, we got to go. So we're going to listen to this. This is Needs to Live from the band Abel Blood. Check this out. Thanks, guys.